Okay, good day, class. Today we're going to study about the physics of fluids. So, when we say fluids, these are substance that flow, such as it can be liquids or gases. Now, in our daily lives, fluids are very important. No, we have the water flows through the pipes. Meron tayong mga air moves around us, and fuels that flows inside the engines. So understanding these fluids will help us explain how ships float, yung mga bangka, paano yun nagpo-float sa oceans, and how hydraulic brakes work, yung mga brakes na sasakyan, and how water systems operate. Now, so the essential questions for today is how do the fluids can help machines lift o kaya float and moves the objects. So by the end of our lessons, we will be able to answer these questions using a scientific principles. So this will be our learning goals. So explain how pressure works in liquids and gases, and we'll describe how hydraulic systems use fluid pressure to multiply force. And of course, we also need to identify the application of Archimedes principle and the Pascal principle, which I actually already discussed on our face-to-face class, and also design the simple practical model showing floating and sinking behavior. Excuse me. So, before we discuss the pressure and the buoyancy, let us first understand what fluids are. No? So, a fluid is, sabi daw, what are fluids? Now, it says here that a fluid is any substance that can flow and take the shape of its container. No, in a simple terms, kung ang isang substance ay kayang dumaloy o magbago ng hugis depende sa lalagyan nito, so it is considered as fluid. So wala siyang permanent na shape o wala siyang permanent na hugis. So ang kanyang shape or hugis nakadepende sa kanyang lalagyan. Now, so there are two main types of fluids. Meron tayong tinatawag na liquids and gases. Now, pag sinabi nating liquids, these are water, it can be the oil o yung mga juice na iniinom ninyo. So, this is technically have a definite volume. So, ibig sabihin, pareho pa rin ang dami ng liquid kahit ilipat sa ibang lalagyan. Kaya sinabing definite volume. However, they do not have a definite shape because they follow the shape of their container. So, on the other hand, gases such as air and steam have a neither a definite shape nor a definite volume. No, ang gas ay kumakalat at pinupuno ang lahat ng available spaces. No. So, a very important idea to remember is that the fluid particles are always moving. No? Why? Bakit siya nagmo-move? Because of this movement, the fluids exert pressure in all directions. So yan, we have the liquids and we have the gases. So the liquids have a definite volume. Ang gases naman is spread out to fill the available spaces. Okay, now let us talk about the pressure. So pressure is defined as the amount of force applied over a certain area. No? So, ang formula nito, P is equal F divided by A. So, ang ibig sabihin ng P is pressure, ang F naman is force, and A naman is area. So, this means that the pressure increases when force increases. So, for example, kapag mas malakas ang pagtulak mo sa isang bagay, mas mataas din ang pressure na nalilikha nito or nagagawa nung ah, ginawa mong pagtulak. Now, pressure also increases when the area becomes smaller. So, this is why a sharp knife cuts better than a dull knife. No? Kahit pareho ang force na ginagamit, mas maliit ang area ng talim kaya mas mataas ang pressure. So in fluids, pressure also increases with the depth, no? So habang lumalalim tayo sa tubig, mas maraming tubig ang nasa ibabaw natin. So kaya mas mataas ang tinatawag natin na pressure. So this one. Deeper water, greater pressure. No, pressure is defined as the force applied perpendicular to the surface of an object per unit area. And it is calculated using the formula P is equal to F divided by A. So ito na yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. P is pressure, F is for force, and A is for the area or the surface. So we have the two common types of pressure problem. We're not going to discuss problem na ano kasi hindi naman ito kasama sa ating learning competencies. So more on application ang nakalagay sa competencies natin. Now, let's review this Pascal principle. No, ang Pascal principle ay sinasabi niya dito that the pressure applied to a confined fluid is transmitted equally in all directions. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, kapag naglagay tayo ng pressure sa isang enclosed na liquid, so enclosed, nakasara, ang pressure na iyon ay kumakalat ng pantay-pantay sa buong fluid. For example, imagine pushing the plunger of a syringe filled with water. So kapag tinulak mo yung plunger, no, hindi lang isang bahagi ng tubig ang naapektuhan. So the pressure is transmitted throughout the entire fluid. So this principle makes the hydraulic system possible. So ibig sabihin, without Pascal principle, the hydraulic brakes, hydraulic lifts, and hydraulic presses would not work. So again, so madali lang naman tandaan itong Pascal principle kasi ito ang sinasabi dito that the pressure is transmitted through the fluid. Okay, now the question is how hydraulics multiply the force. Now, one of the most important applications of the Pascal principle is hydraulics. Now, notice that the input piston, this is the input piston, is smaller while the output piston, this is the output piston. Yung nakikita ninyo yung green color, yung sa input piston, yung nasa red arrow. At ito naman nasa green arrow, ito naman yung tinatawag natin na output piston. No, magkaiba ang kanilang size, no. When a small force is applied to the input piston, the pressure is created inside the fluid. So, nandito sa loob, no, nakikreate yung pressure because the pressure is transmitted equally to throughout the fluid. So the same pressure reaches the larger output piston. So since the output piston has a larger area, it produces a large force. So dahil mas malaki ang kanyang area dito, mas malaki din ang kanyang force. So sa madaling salita, maliit na effort ang ilalagay mo pero malaking force ang makukuha mo. This is why a mechanic can lift an entire vehicle using the hydraulic lift. Yung mga makikita nito usually sa mga paayusan ng mga sasakyan. So these are our hydraulic systems in our daily life. No, hydraulics are useful when people need to control the powerful motions. So ito mga example natin, we have the vehicle brakes. So brake fluid, may mga brake fluid yan. So kaya yung mga sasakyan lagi sila nagpapacheck kung meron pa silang brake fluid kasi baka mamaya wala na silang brake fluid. So paano yun? So hindi possible na gumana yung mga brakes nila. So we have the garage shops, lifts, mga pressures, move heavy objects with a smaller human effort. Hindi na masyado kailangan. Sa construction din ginagamit itong mga hydraulic system. So, yon. So now let's move to the Archimedes principle. So, ang Archimedes discover that an object placed in a fluid experiences an upward force and you call it the buoyant force, no? Ayan, nakita niyo, that's a buoyant force. And sabi nga dyan, buoyant force is equal to the weight of the fluid displayed by the object. No. Now, so ibig sabihin, kapag inilagay mo ang isang bagay sa tubig, itinutulak nito ang ilang bahagi ng tubig, no? So, uh, the displaced water creates an upward force. Now, so if the buoyant force is greater than or equal to the object, equal to the object's weight, then the object floats, no? Lulutang. Now, but if the object's weight is greater than the buoyant force, and then the object will sink or lulubog. So this is actually the principle explained by the boat's float and why submarines can rise and sink. So dahil dito sa buoyant force or principle na ito. Now, so why do some objects float? No, so many people think that the heavy objects always sink, but actually this is not true. No, hindi lahat ng mabibigat na object ay lumulubog, 'di ba? Tulad nga ng mga ships na mga barko. So hindi na they are heavy but hindi sila lumulubog. Ah, so a ship can weigh thousands of tons yet it still floats. So kahit sobrang bigat nila. What is the reason of that? So because floating depends not only on the weight but also on the buoyant force and the displaced water. No? Ibig sabihin, so kapag sapat ang water na naitutulak ang barko, then nakakagawa ito ng malaking buoyant force na kayang suportahan ang bigat ng barko or kung anumang mabigat na bagay. So that is why shape is very important. No? Now, a solid metal block sink. So, but the same metal shape into a hollow boat can float. So, kayang-kaya na niya mag-float. Depende sa buoyant force na gagamitin. Now, so there are three important factors affect the floating. So, meron tayong tinatawag na mass, meron tayong shape, and meron tayong tinatawag na volume. So, small changes in the sign can affect whether an object can floats. No? So, konting design lang yan, maapektuhan yan. No? So, mass affects the object weight. The greater the mass, the greater the weight, no? Yung volume naman, it can be affect how much fluid is displaced. So, mas malaking volume, meaning mas maraming tubig ang naitutulak. Now, sa shape naman, it affects how the object interacts with the fluid. And this is why engineers carefully design ships and boats. Now remember, floating is only about the material use, but the design matters and important also. So what are the application of the fluid principles? So we have the home, yung mga water tanks natin, mga faucet, mga toilet natin, okay, yung mga pumps natin. So yun ang mga application mga fluid principles. Sa business naman, so hydraulic presses, pwedeng mga car lifts, o mga cleaning system. So sa community natin, we have the flood control, mga drainage and water supply. And sa transportation natin, yung mga ships, no? Mga submarines, mga brakes, mga aircraft lift. So those are the common pattern. Okay. So this is the end of our discussion. So itong activity na to, papagawa ko na lang ito sa inyo sa face to face. Thank you guys for listening.